So why are you here? Why are you here? Anyone? I know some of you already told me you want to be better communicators, you want to be better speakers, right? You want to get rid of the fear that you have. You want to make sure that you make that impact. But let me tell you, you are here, if you didn't know this already, to learn, to manage, to make progress in one of the most important human skills you can ever have. So, I heard from a very masterful, craftful speaker say that you're only one speech away from changing your life. And I'd like to say you're only one speech away from making that big win you want to have, whatever it may be, career, personal, business, influence. So speaking is a key human skill. X factor. Why? What is it? Why do we call it the X factor? So I think I have got the easiest, or sometimes I'd say the most challenging of the topic, because I am going to culminate everything that my previous speakers, facilitators, and judges have given you, masala it, like they say it, pack it for you nicely, give you a little bit of your own authenticity, and show you how you, each individual here, can have their own X factor. So I'd like to start this off with a little activity. I gave you a pencil when I met you initially, right? You all have that pencil. And I also gave you a sticky note, right? I want you to take a few sticky notes. You're only going to use one or two at the most. I'm going to start to tell you a story. Within that story, anywhere within that story, whatever you feel, I want you to write a one-word feeling that you feel when you're listening to me. An emotion. So for example, you feel happy, you feel confident, you feel strong, you feel inspired. Those are one-word emotions, right? While I'm telling you the story. At the end of the story, right, and I'll tell you I'm done now, you can choose to add another word that you feel or leave that same one. Sawa, is that clear? Is that activity clear? Are we together? So the reason I gave you pencils is because I want to tell you a story of the greatest pencil maker ever, right? This person achieved so much success in the way he was able to do his pencil business. His pencils were used all over the world, famous, great pencils, right? But he had a ritual. Every day, whatever his company, his manufacturing plant, his people created, the produce for the day, he would say, please lay it all down on one table. All the workers leave the room, give me 10 minutes. He would lock himself in. And after 10 minutes, come out, speak to the workers, we did good today, let's go home, we start again tomorrow. After many years of those success, he was interviewed. And the interviewer asked him, hey, I heard about this ritual that you do. Can you explain why you do this ritual? Why are you having this? And say, look, I've never spoken about this before, but I'll tell you. He says, you see, I treat my pencils like human beings. I treat them like my kids. Every end of the day, when I spend time with them, alone, I tell them these things. So, I tell them, dear pencils, please remember 5 things that I'm about to tell you before I box you and pack you away to the world. For if you do remember these 5 things, you will have the power to become the greatest pencils ever. The first thing he tells them, remember that you have the power to do great things only if you put yourself in someone else's hand. The second thing he tells them, that every once in a while, you will make a mistake and you will have the opportunity to correct that mistake. The third thing he says, you will also feel some sharpening pain. Remember, when that happens, you're just being refined and making yourself better. The fourth thing he says to the pencils is, remember, no matter what surface you are used on, always leave your mark. And the final thing he tells them is if there's anything that you take away from all these 5 things, this is the most important one. And he says, remember that what's truly important is on the inside of you. So that is the end of the story, because most of those pencils remember those 5 things and go out to the world and become great, purposeful pencils. So you already wrote that one word. If you have another word to please add, and I want you to stick it on this flipboard here. Please, hurry up, chop, chop, let's go.
Murtaza bhai, is this a good silence or an awkward silence? Because there's definitely
Do you want me to take the judges? Thank you. Thank you. So while we get this arranged, I'll have to read this out. What I want to do is I also want to use the flipboard. So I'm going to tear this. Can I tear this? I'm going to use my very... can I ask you to be a part of this for me? If you can please hand her a mic.
Right,
I'm going to read some of those words
some
for
of
me.
them, right,
Yeah.
okay. Transformation,
Transformation, okay.
motivated, compassion,
Compassion,
relatable,
relatable, okay.
ambitious,
Ambitious,
realization,
okay.
fascinated.
Okay, so let's hold that. You felt all those different emotions. Do you know why you felt them? So here is where I start to give you my takeaways, what you should take away from my masterclass. So here's number 1. You only felt that because of clarity. I was very clear about what I'm going to do, what I want you to do. I used simple language, simple words. I understood and knew my content very well, and so I was able to relate well. So the first takeaway that you must take away today from my class is whatever that you're trying to do, be clear. Don't use jargons, be simple. Right? Clarity is extremely important, and for that, you must know your content. You must have rehearsed, like all the other previous judges or facilitators have said. You must connect, right? You must be relatable. Let's do a few more words. So this is number 1, clarity.
Self-review.
Self?
Self-review.
Review, okay.
Admiration.
Admiration.
Inspired.
Inspired.
Curiosity.
Curiosity.
Intriguing.
Okay, let's take a break. So why did you feel those things then? What do you think made you feel all those emotions? So my second takeaway for you is confidence. The only reason you felt what I wanted you to feel is because I am confident, because I'm making eye contact, like Murtaza Bhai said, because I'm trying to be relatable. I'm also confident because I know my content. If you ask me to speak about, for example, child psychology, I will not be confident. Okay? I know my content. I am relatable. I am engaging with you. I am looking at you. Right? So confidence is key. My tone, how I use it, how I take poses, how I stand, how I made you do that exercise. So my second takeaway for you is confidence. And you'll only get that if you do what the previous speakers have asked you to do. Let's read a few more. Last time.
Empowered.
Empowered. Brilliant.
This is a different one. Mysterious.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Content.
Content.
Inspired.
Inspired.
Purposeful.
Purposeful.
Affection.
Thank you. So, mysterious, inspired, all that. Why do you feel that? Again, the third takeaway. Because I was able to engage you. We speak about engaging with your audiences. We speak about know your audiences. We speak about make them feel what you feel. Right? Again, I was able to engage with you. Why was I able to engage with you? Maybe I ask one of the judges. Why do you think I was able to engage with the audience, Murtaza Bhai?
I think your eye contact and the way you the speed that you were speaking at,
Okay.
and the tone of voice, it felt that you were relating to me individually.
Okay.
But you're looking at me, but you're speaking to everyone as well.
Okay. So definitely it's about my behavior, my body language, my eye contact, the way I speak to you.
If I can just add something, I think I was really curious to know what next.
Okay.
There was that kind of anxiousness in me that I
Yes.
just wanted to know what was coming next.
So engaging the audience, thank you. All those are true. Engaging the audience is of utmost importance. It's also very important how you structure your talk, okay? How did I start my talk? Why are you here? I gave you the status quo, then I gave you the dream of where you can be. Status quo, the dream. Status quo, the dream. If you look at the best speakers in the world, they will do that. They will tell you how it is. They'll tell you where you want to go or where they want to take you. A beautiful world. They'll bring you back here. They'll take you there. And that's one of the best ways to engage with your audiences. So these are my 3 takeaways. Now, I'll give you 2 more as a bonus. Okay? The 4th takeaway, whatever it is that I'm doing, right? Whatever it is that all the other speakers did you notice one thing that was common in every masterclass, including mine? What do you think is the common thing? Let's see if you're paying attention. Table 2. Nothing common besides my good looks and, charm?
So everybody discussed the same topic. Everything was in hand and they overlapped onto each other as if you had spoken about what you were going to speak about next, but everybody spoke about, like there was one main aim of the game and everybody kind of overlapped into each other's conversations.
Okay, it's very hard not to overlap because it's a whole subtopic, but yes, that's not what I'm looking for. Anyone? All very well prepared. To be honest, I have not prepared at all. I'm winging it right now. Seriously. Seriously. You know why? Because I know my content. I only got here because I've been having enough practice. Don't wing it, please. Do not wing it. So the commonality, oh yeah, go ahead.
I think all of you had something in specific that you all had to talk about, and you all were super prepared for that.
Okay, so preparation and topic, right? Go ahead. We all engage the audience? Yes. But what was that one thing that we used to engage the audience with? Thank you. Brilliant. We all told stories. So my fourth takeaway for you is no matter, these are technical things, and everything else that the judges told you are technical things as well. But we all told stories. Murtaza used me in his story about Jiba. Shirin Bhai used the sun story. Zohra Bhai, I can't remember your story. Yes, herself talking. But we all told stories. So my fourth takeaway for you is figure out how you can tell stories. It doesn't have to be your story. I didn't tell you my story today. I'm not the pencil maker, right? Find stories that you can tell with a message at the end. Always tell a story with a message at the end. It will be the most impactful story that you will tell. And finally, my fifth point, because I'm here for the X factor, so I'm going to leave that till the last moment. So, for the X factor, I will tell you another story. Are you ready for this? Okay. And this time, whatever emotion you feel, just keep it with you. You can write it down, put it in your folder. So I'm going to tell you a story about the water bearer from China in the ancient time. Okay? So in the old China, the water bearer was someone who was responsible for fetching water from the stream and taking it to the village. The way they used to carry water was in pots. And because the pots got heavy with the load, they would attach it at the end of a long stick, and the stick would be hung on the shoulders. So this is how would they carry the water, right? So he had two pots. The one pot on the right was perfect. It would carry a full load of water all the way to the village as he would walk, as the water bearer would walk from the stream to the village. The pot felt proud, accomplished. Look, I can carry a full load. The pot on the left had a slight crack, so we call it a cracked pot. It felt embarrassed, it felt weak, it felt miserable because it would only be able to carry half a load by the time the water bearer reached the village. This happened for years, right? Day in, day out. And after about 2 years, the cracked pot feels miserable, feels upset, feels sad, and cries out to the water bearer and says, "My master, I am so sorry. All I've been able to do is carry half a load for you. I don't know how I can continue. Why don't you just give me up and let me go?" To that, the water bearer smiles and says, "My son, or my cracked pot, I know about your flow. But let me ask you, have you noticed the path that we take from the stream to the village? Have you noticed the path on your side compared to the side of the other pot?" The miserable cracked pot obviously says no, because it is too engrossed in its own weaknesses and its own insecurities, right? And says, "No, master, I haven't." So the water bearer says, "Tomorrow morning, we shall notice." Morning comes, they go back to the stream, they fetch the water, and as they're walking back, the crackpot notices, "Oh, master, I see flowers along my path. I see fruits along my path. Tell me, how? Because I don't see the same on the other path, on the other side." So the water bearer says, "You know, I knew about your crack. I knew your weakness. And so what I did was I planted seeds along the path that we would take from the stream to the river, to the village. I would plant flower seeds. I would plant fruit seeds. What that has enabled me to do is sell the fruit into the village to make the extra income and use the flowers to decorate people's homes and places. So you should be extremely proud and happy of yourself that not only are you able to carry the water, but you're giving life to things that others cannot give." So why did I tell you that story? You know what your X factor is? It's everything that you think is your weakness. Is everything that you think that I'm not good enough? Is all the cracks that you think you have? Are all the problems that you think that you have? Are all the mannerisms that you think you don't like about yourself? You are your own cracked pot. But you have the power to use that because that becomes your authenticity. The way Doctor is, the way Mr. Versi is, the way Mrs. Jairaj is, the way I am, there's only one of us. Our authenticity is our X factor. And that is why when Murtaza was here, he was speaking about structure. I don't believe in structure. I can do what I want to do, when I want to do, how I want to do. Because I know I am being authentic. And you will get me whether I follow the rules or not. So authenticity is key. Learn the rules and then break them in your own style. And that is my final giveaway to you. That is to be you, know you, use you, and break everything out there. Thank you.